Ooh, this is going to be a long one. So here we go. Yeah, so that was Hurricane Helene. And as you have seen what is going on in the United States, that happened in Florida. As you are seeing what is going on in the United States, you are seeing the fulfillment of prophecy, slight fulfillment of prophecy. There's still more to this. Now, um, you see, the thing is, this is the thing. Babylon is being judged. Now, I've said it several times. America will be judged. America will be judged by Yahuwah. So, and one of the judgments that is going to happen is extreme natural disasters, and there also wars, famine, and pestilence that will go on in that nation. Basically the same thing Yahuwah used to punish the children of Israel. So let's go to Jeremiah 7. Jeremiah, where's Jeremiah? Alright, Jeremiah 7 from verse 28 to 34. But thou shalt say unto them, This is a nation that obeyed not the voice of Yahuwah their Elohim, nor received correction. Truth is perished and is cut off from their mouth. You see, it's one of the reasons why the judgment is happening in the United States of America is because they are a nation that do not obey the voice of Yahuwah. They are a nation that have been totally rebellious against Yahuwah. For the one of the things was that they oppressed the people of Yahuwah. They oppressed the treasure of Yahuwah. They oppressed his people, and they refused to let them go. And there's so many things that is a city of violence, basically systematic violence, racial violence, so many kinds of violence. The killings that have been happening in the United States, which which is a deliberate effort, is to wipe out. They are trying to wipe out the black populace from the United States, but Yahuwah is not going to allow that to happen. Yahuwah is going to deliver his people, because this is going to bring the plagues of Egypt upon the wicked nation, the wicked nation Babylon, because Babylon has oppressed her people, has oppressed his people. Actually, Babylon has oppressed his people, and is causing and is making the other nations to be oppressed. Like, for example, Africa. If you look at the situation that is going on in Congo, as well as many African countries such as Somalia, many people are not even talking about Somalia. That's even the worst part of it. Somalia, Nigeria, Ghana. No, Ghana, there's even a recent case now that there's illegal mining going on. Hold on. Alright, so sorry about that. So the things that are going on in Somalia, the things that are going on in Nigeria, going like um the things that are going on in South Africa, and the things that they have the power to resolve this issue, but because there are people of violence, there are people who are monoculturistic, and there are people who still believe in their evil ways, who still have a heart that is cruel and wicked towards Yahuwah. They will not change. It's not that they will not change, it's that most of them have refused to change. And that's the sad part of it all. And they because of that, the Yahuwah is going to deal with them in a way that they might not even, before they even understand what's going on, it might be too late. So I want to go into another Bible verse. I want to go into another Bible verse. That's Jeremiah 50. Hold on. Jeremiah 50 from verse 21 to 25. Right. Go up to the land of Merathaim, even against it, and against the inhabitants of Pekod. Waste and utterly destroy them, says Yahuwah. Sorry about that. And do according to all I have commanded thee. A sound of battle is in the land, and of great destruction. How is the armor of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation amongst the nation? I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against Yahuwah. Yes, the Lord hath opened his armory and hath brought forth the weapons of indignation. For this is the work of Yahweh Elohim of hosts, in the land of the Chaldeans. Come against her. I'm going down to verse 26. So I think I'll stop here. Come against her from the utmost border, open her storehouse, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left. So you see, the things that are going on in Babylon. Hold on. How do I pause this?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so the things that are going on in Babylon is as a result of the violence they have incited against other nations. Being in the coalition of forces with the West, destroying and destabilizing other nations just because they refuse to agree to their terms and agreements, and causing chaos as far as the ends of the earth. America is one of their biggest exporter, is apart from culture, is war, and is a warfaring, warmongering nation, because America creates things to destroy other nations. The United States is like, it's a nation of violence. You have to understand that. And now the violence has spilled over to the violence is overflowing to the point where it's now starting to come home. And this is what people need to understand. This is what people need to realize. You can't spread violence without inciting violence in your own home. Because they say charity begins at home. You start chaos in your home before you spread it out to the whole world, which means America has always been a violent nation from day one. Many people always believe, I too also had the notion before, that the United States was like, oh, God's land, God is in this land and stuff like that. But until I came to realize that United States was a nation that was founded under slavery, oppression, and genocide. So the foundation of it was evil. The foundation of the United States was evil in the first place because they literally wiped out a not all, a vast majority of the original indigenes. These are people that came from Europe that decided to settle there because of they had vast weaponry, vast technology that was way advanced. That time they used to use musket guns and stuff like that, so it was way advanced compared to what the people back then were using. The Aborigines, I mean the Red Indians, sorry, the Aborigines are from Australia. So the Red Indians, so they were not used to this type of technology, and they were not used to this type of warfare that the Europeans brought, because the Europeans were very crafty when it comes to warfare. They were very crafty, and this goes back to their Edomite ancient ways, because you have to remember, Edom integrated itself into other nations. Edom integrated itself through the nations of the Ashkenaz, the Temans, some of the Moabites, the Ammonites as well. They shall spread themselves far and wide. So they were the way they practiced warfare, when they brought it into the land of the United States, it was something that the people, the Red Indians that were there, were not familiar with, and because of that they were killed en masse. Many of them were killed en masse, and because of that they were, how do I put this, so they were secluded. This little minority of them were secluded into one location, and basically the Europeans took over the land. The same thing happened in Africa. In Africa, they came, they fought the original people who stayed there. Sorry about the background noise. Our sorry about the background noise. Our country doesn't have stable lights. Yeah, so, but the thing is that they destabilized Africa. They came in with weapons, with, when I mean with artillery, with cannons. They came in with machine guns, earlier prototypes of machine guns. They came, so they were able to commit mass genocide of several tribes, but they didn't kill all of them. They didn't kill all of them. Some of them were like shortened. They became small. Some tribes were small, while some were completely wiped out. Some tribes were some tribes worked with the Europeans to basically capture some Africans, namely some of the Igbos as well as some of the Yorubas that were captured and taken into slavery. That's why when they do all this ancestry, when the people from Jamaica and the United States, especially the black community, when they do their ancestry, some of them will find out that, oh, they're from Yoruba, oh, they are from Ghana, oh, they are from this place. They have different kind of ancestry, different kinds of ancestry. But the thing is that they took many of, and that's why I say this, it's not every person, it's not every one of the 12 tribes of Israel that are in the United States and the Caribbeans and that are in North and South America. No. And this is one thing that most Hebrew Israelites don't understand. You see, there are still some in Africa. There are still some tribes in Africa that are still parts of the 12 tribes. The thing was that back then, our ancestors sold parents sold their children. Some children sold their parents. Fathers sold their wives sold their husbands. to get some things and also to preserve themselves in order to, because of the Europeans, and because of the Europeans, maybe some for greed, maybe some because they wanted to curry favor with the Europeans, and so they were captured and taken to the ends of the earth, which is Northern America and Southern America, as well as the Caribbean islands. So the beginning of the United States was founded in violence. It was founded in violence, and it is going to end in violence, but this time it is going to be, is the violence will lead to her destruction. And so, and this is the plan of Yahuwah. Is the plan of Yahuwah, because Yahuwah has seen that this is the nation that is extremely rebellious, extremely cruel towards his people. Because if you see the laws that they've passed, because sometimes I used to study American laws and how they mistreated black people, and it pains, to be honest, me from Africa self, it even pains me a lot. Like, it tears my heart to see and hear that many of our brothers and sisters over there are being mistreated so viciously, to the point where even I myself would not even want to be treated like that. But unfortunately, we are being treated like that even here in Africa. We are being treated like, but it's things that not many people talks about it. But and another thing is that it is our own brethren that is treating us like that. So let me go to Baruch, another Bible verse. Thank you, Yahweh, for your wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Baruch 2 from verse 1 to 5. Therefore, Yahweh had made good in his word, which he pronounced against us, and against our judges that judge in Israel, and against our kings and against our princes, and against the men of Israel and Judea, to bring upon great plagues such as never has happened under the whole heaven, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that were written in the laws of Moses, that a man should eat the flesh of his own son, the flesh of his own daughter. Moreover, he had delivered them to be in subjugation to all kingdoms round about us, to be as a reproach and a desolation amongst all the people round about, where the Lord has scattered them. Those who were cast down are not exalted, because we have sinned against Yahweh our Elohim, and have not been obedient unto his voice. Wow. Praise be unto Yahuwah, for his mercies endures forever. And no, this is one of the judgments that happened in Israel. One of the things that happened in Israel, and basically the prophet here is saying that we have sinned against Yahuwah and we have become a reproach to the nation. But I don't think America is going to have that humility. That's until it is too late, until she's thoroughly destroyed. No, people don't like to accept it, but that's the truth. That is the truth. And there are many prophets that have said the same thing that I have been saying. There are many prophets out there that have said that that nation is mystery Babylon, that not only oppresses our own people and oppresses the people that she's with, but also oppresses her friends as well as the nations around her. Because she believes that she has many children and she will never know sorrow, but Yahweh is going to bring her down to the dust. And because of her pride, he's even going to bring her lower to Sheol itself. And thanks be unto Yahweh. Now the thing is that the nations are going to hate it's not it's even happening now. It's not like as if it's going to. It's happening now because if you see what's going on, almost every nation hates the United States because the United States has been the nation that gets to make all the decisions. Like when it comes to the United Nation stuff and when it comes to things that has to do with policy making as well as decision making, it was always the United Nations that always have to have a say because without that, the um but that was before because without that nothing would no there will no changes would be made. But now the tide is changing. Now we are seeing the rise of Russia and China, the two great horns, the rise of Russia and China. Well, we're also seeing some soft power from other nations. And America knows this. That's the issue. They know this. They are slowly losing their power. They are slowly losing their grip that they have over other nations. They are losing their grip of that they had over other. So it's not trying to control things, trying to bring in oppressive laws against other countries, but the thing is, and against its own people. But the thing is that it's not going to be like before. Now countries are going to get bold. They are going to get um bold enough to compete to raise their finger against the United States, and there's nothing they can do about it because it's not the power that they used to have before. Because the Western hegemony and the United States is like the head of the Western hegemony, and when the Western hegemony is broken, when the head of the Western hegemony is broken, the other leaders will fall with it. Like they say, strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. So America has been the shepherd of the West, the global West, and the power that it had for a very long time on. But now we are seeing that power collapse in real time. We are seeing that power collapse, We are seeing China coming, making deals with other nations, and other nations ditching the dollar. So there are some nations that have totally ditched the dollar. Other nations ditching the dollar because let's face the fact. The goal of the US was also to destabilize countries and to make countries poor and wretched, and to make countries like to make country dependent on them, and they don't do things on trade because they believe it's me, I that kind of lifestyle, like that selfish. Yeah, Daniel 2 from verse 20 to 23. Let me just quickly say this. Daniel answered and said, Blessed be the name of Yahuwah forever and ever, for wisdom and mercy are his. And he changeth the times and seasons and removes kings and set up king. And he giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that are understanding. He revealeth the deep and secret things. He knows what's in the darkness, and light dwelleth in him. I thank thee and praise thee, O thou Yahuwah of my fathers, who has given me wisdom and might, and has made known unto me now what we desired of thee. For thou hast now made known to us the king's matter. So I think this yeah. Okay. Let me read from verse 44. And in the days of the kings, of these kings shall Yahweh of Heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. But the kingdom shall sorry. Let me go back a little bit. Verse 40. And the fourth kingdom shall be as strong as iron. For as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron breaketh these things, shall it break in pieces and bruise. Whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of the potter's clay and part iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it the strength of iron. For as much as thou sawest, that iron is talking about Rome. That iron is talking about the kingdom of Rome. Like the kingdom of Rome is still prevalent and is still existing today. It's still prevalent, it's still existing today. And this kingdom, the Rome 2.0 that is going to come, because what people think that, oh, is the kingdom of iron and clay is the United States. No, there's going to be a kingdom that is going to come. It's going to be the Rome 2.0, but it's going to be mixed with clay, which means it's going to be a transhumanist kingdom. It's going to be a kingdom that is going to try and mingle and try and mix iron technology. Iron represents technology. Iron represents technology. Trying to go and mix iron with clay, which means merging tech with humans. You see that in the Neuralink that they are trying to create. We see that in those RFID chips that they are trying, that people are implanting in their body in the United States. You know, silly behaviors, but they are trying to implant. They would do these things to make sure that they have full control over humanity. And as it says, but there shall be in it the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with mire clay, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part clay, so that shall the kingdom be partly strong and partly broken. Which means the kingdom is not going to be stable. One side has to rule over the other, because you can't have iron and clay and they'll still be tussling with each other. But Satan is going, Satan in his warped mind, Hashatan in his warped mind, will try and mingle these kingdoms together. He's trying to mingle his own kingdom with the kingdom of man, because it's going to be like a satanic kingdom mingled with the kingdom of man. So it's going to be like two kingdoms in one, but it's not going to be strong, because it's going to have weak points. It's going to have fractures, because the kingdom of man is the kingdom of clay. Is the kingdom of clay, is the kingdom of and the kingdom of iron. When you place iron on top of clay, what will happen? The clay will smash to pieces. They can't mix together. How can they mix? But in these days, and in the days of this king, shall Yahuwah of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. For he shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and he shall stand forever. For as much as thou sawest the stone which was cut out of the mountain without hand, and that break it in pieces, the iron, the brass, the clay, and the silver and the gold, the great Yahuwah had made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof is sure. This is the vision that Yah has given to Daniel. But in order for that kingdom to come, the previous world empire, the previous kingdom that has ruled as a world empire, which is the United States of America, is going to be destroyed, because the United States of America is going to be the model of what the satanic kingdom is going to be. I have to do something with this screen record. Like that selfish child. So as I was saying, like that selfish child that always wants everything to itself and does not want to share with others. And the West knows that they are losing. That's why you are seeing some European countries starting to pivot to Russia. You're seeing some European countries starting to pivot to China. You're seeing some European countries starting to pivot to China, and you're seeing them starting to make plans to try and exit the US the US supremacy, because the US itself is falling. Like the power of the United States is falling. I know I'm repeating myself, but I have to get this clear to many people. I have many people to understand this. There's going to be a lot of editing. So let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. I know some of you be like, where is this stuff in the Bible? Don't worry. This is not in the standard Bible, but it's part of the Apocrypha, and I would like for each and every person, you can get part of the Apocrypha in the Play Store. So the Play Store has the books of the Apocrypha, so you can go check it out. You can go read those books. Wisdom of Solomon 10 from verse 3 to 6. But when the unrighteous went away from her in his anger, he perishes also in the fury wherewith he murdered his brother. For whose cause the earth is being drowned in the flood? Wisdom again preserved it and directed the course of the righteous in a piece of wood of small value. What is the piece of wood? Like that he was making reference to Noah during the time of Noah, when Noah was in the ark and stayed in the ark when the whole world was being flooded with and purged by the way of water, because Yahuwah saw the evil and the abomination that was going on upon the earth and decided to purge the whole world with water. And so the piece of wood which represents the ark, the piece of wood I was talking about was the ark, which represents Christ, because Christ is the only person, Yeshua is the only person who is our deliverer. And that is even in the name Yah. Yah is our salvation. Yah is our salvation. And okay, verse 6. Moreover, the nation in their wicked conspiracy being confounded, she found out the righteous and preserved him blameless unto Yahuwah, and kept him strong against his tender compassion towards his son. When the ungodly perished, she delivered the righteous man, who fled from the fire which fell down upon the 5 cities. And yeah, this is making reference to the righteous, to those who are going to be delivered. Because like you saw in the earlier video, the hurricane that happened, Yahuwah might have warned some people about it, that they should leave Florida and stuff like that. So that is all. The Yahuwah must have warned some people to leave Florida, and some people who obeyed Yahuwah was able to preserve their life, while those who are still struggling and still like arguing with the spirit of Yahuwah, who are still arguing with the spirit of Yahuwah, were had their properties, and some of them even lost their lives in the process. Some of them. And let's go to Proverbs 18 verse 6. Proverbs 18 from verse 16, sorry. Proverbs 18:16. A man's give maketh room for hold on. I think is that right? Proverbs 18 verse 16. Yeah, okay. He that keepeth, yes, Proverbs 19 verse 16, sorry about that. Yeah, he that keepeth the commandment keepeth his own soul, but he that despiseth his way shall die. He that despises the way of Yahuwah, the way and the commandments and the laws of Yahuwah, if you despise it, you will die. Like, there is no two ways about it. It might first start with spiritual death before physical death, or sometimes it might be just straight up physical death. Sometimes, because I think I saw a photo of a guy. Yeah, that would be too graphic for this video, so I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to show it. But there was a man. I'm just going to blow out, like, make it somewhat family friendly. So the thing was that I saw a picture of a guy who was fornicating with another man's wife, and that's why Yahuwah has always made it clear that you should not commit adultery, because while he was fornicating with another man's wife, he got a weapon, a axe to his noggins, to his crown. Let's just put it like that. He got a axe to his crown, and basically he was unalived. He was literally unalived, and that was the end of his life. Straight up, that man was dead, completely dead. That's why Yahweh has always made it clear that when a man is angry, especially when a woman, I think it's still in the book of Proverbs, when a seductress tempts you, that do not fall for her words, because her ways leads to death. Because men have literally killed other men just because they witness their wives getting freaky with another man, so they just take the lives of the other person. And this fornication lifestyle started. This fornication, I won't say it started with paganism. It has been a long-standing thing. It has even been going on even before the days of Noah. But it is something that is being promoted in the media. It's being promoted in the culture that the United States exports. We see this, all those blue movies that we see in our movies, all those love triangles, thinking that two guys, one girls, that kind of lifestyle. The all those romantic like one guy will be chiking up in Nigeria we always say chike, but one guy will be raising up a married woman, and all of a sudden the married woman will leave the guy, will leave his husband, and they will go to the man, because the way they will present it is that the man was abusive, the man was evil, so the savior now comes to rescue the wife. But that kind of thing is very dangerous in real life, very extremely dangerous. There are many men who have killed other men because of that. There are many men who are 6 feet under because of that. And even they present this stuff in Nigerian movies. They present this stuff in Nigerian movies a lot. The demasculation of men, the adultery of women, Nigerian media is a very funny place, because they can promote this same kind of lifestyle. They can promote it in form of skit and comedy, but those with discerning ears and eyes will be able to understand that, oh, this is a psyop. That some of these things, yes, they are using these things to make money, but Satan is promoting this kind of people, because this kind of people are still, even though they might not be in like actual allegiance to him, they are promoting the things that he's teaching, and so they are going to be rewarded for the evil that they commit. This is why we have to be very careful with what we post, to who we send messages to, because there are some messages that you might think that, oh, it's just skit. You might not know that there might be some hidden agenda on it. But I'm not saying all skits are like that. No, there are some skits that are genuinely funny, and there are some that they have a hidden message to it. This is why we have this Nons Mirage is in this Nigeria that's matchmaking. This matchmaking woman, as well as all this matchmaking that we see in black community, that we're always watching black community. We have Cruise, we have Jubilee, we have so many things that are just there as psychological operation for most people, because these are things that they are presenting to the masses that people are not aware of. Man, I've spoken a lot. It's going to be a long video. Well, the issue is now is going to be compiling it, because I made it in separate batches. So Daniel 2. All right, so as I was saying, so it's going to bring about the beast system, and this system, for the beast system to arise, the world power, like I've said before, has to be eliminated. And that's why we're seeing changes in laws. We're seeing them bringing a lot of oppressive laws that, if you were to look into it, are not laws that are reasonable. And that's the thing. The kingdom of Hashatan is not reasonable. It's an oppressive system. It's an oppressive system. We're seeing this all over the world. And this is why I will say this. Any nation that has tied itself to the United States, any nation that has tied itself to the West in general, any nation that has tied itself to the West, and yes, to the West, is going to collapse. Every nation that deals with the West is going to collapse. We are seeing a shift and a change, and the patterns, things are changing. America is going to go through a famine. The US is going to go through a famine. First of all, a spiritual famine and a literal famine. A literal famine in the sense that they are not going. This one under this logistic people who say in logistics that they strike for one day and it's going to set them back for like a week. Yeah, a week. Just strike for one day is going to set them back for like a week. That means that the system, the American system, is starting to collapse. And because now you are seeing now the job market is screwed. Like, there is literally no company. So about the background noise, we where African countries have to rely on generators because our power system, electricity is like a luxury for us here. So our power system is unreliable because our government is extremely corrupt. Like, really extreme. When I mean extremely corrupt, I mean so corrupt you like most countries cannot even fathom it. But anyways, this is the thing that is going to happen in the future. Okay, you are seeing hurricanes now. You're seeing like two different types of hurricane that has happened in Florida and I think one other place. I don't know the place. And the hurricane has destroyed properties. Like, it has displaced a lot of people. And I see many more people that are still going to be displaced. And yet, the people still harden their hearts towards Yahuwah. And this just goes to show you what Yahuwah has been saying in his word. That even though all this color, I think that's Isaiah 9. Even though all this color, let me go there. Alright. This, yeah, Isaiah 9. I think from verse 10, I guess. Verse 10. The bricks are falling down, but we will build with hew stones. The sycamores are cut down, but we will change them into cedars. Okay. Therefore, Yahuwah shall set up the adversary of Rezin against him, and together and join his enemies together, the Syrians before and the Philistines behind, and they shall devour Yasharel with open mouths. For all this, his anger has not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. For the people turneth not unto him that smited them, neither do they seek the Lord of hosts. And that's the thing. Like, they still believe that, oh, we are going to build back better, as they always say. We're going to build back better. We are going to come back stronger than ever. But Yahweh is saying that I'm going to make it sure that, and this is not a curse. Don't let anybody think that I'm placing word curse on anybody, please. But here is what Yahweh has to say. I'm going to make it sure that you will not restore yourself back to your former glory. So it's going to make you occupied with the enemies that are going to come against you. And this is a judgment from Yahweh. And still, people will not change their ways. When Yahweh says, do good to your neighbors, don't commit evil, don't kill people, don't cause systematic oppression. When the heart of the people is dead set on rebelling against Yahweh and causing as much pain and as terror as possible, then you have a situation where you now have a situation where now you are going to face the full wrath of Yahweh. Yes, you are most definitely going to face the full wrath of Yahweh, and you have to bear your burdens as a nation, as a people, as a country. Because as you know now, nations and countries are like different. This is why there are so many professing Christians, but there are so many professing Christians that don't fully understand the words of Yahweh, because Yahweh has not revealed it to them, because they are not ready to receive the mature things of the things that the mature thing. They are not ready to receive meat, the mature meat of His word. And some are still wallowing inside the deception. Many are still wallowing inside the deception, honestly. Many are still wallowing inside the deception that they believe that Yahweh is not angry with them, that they can do whatever they want, and all they just have to do is just kneel down and say, Yahweh, I'm sorry, God, I'm sorry. That's what they usually say, God, I'm sorry. This is why you have to know the God you serve. Which God are you speaking to? This is why I always say Yahweh in my videos, because I'm specifically speaking to the God of Israel, to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That is who I'm speaking to. I am not just saying God, because there are many gods. There are many elves, but there is one true God, which is Yahuwah, which is Yah. This video is going to be very long. So, Daniel 12. I'm going to go. This is the second to the last before I close for the day. Daniel 12 from I think verse 10 talked about the nation. No, not verse 10. No, Daniel 11. Sorry, Daniel 11. Yeah, and this is what is going to happen to the nation of the United States. Hear ye the words of Yahuwah, and hear ye very well, because this is the judgment levied upon you. And at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots, with horsemen, with many ships, and he shall enter into the countries and shall overflow and pass over. He shall enter also into the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown, but these shall escape out of his hand, even Edom, Moab, and the chiefs of the children of Ammon. He shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. But he shall have power over the treasures of gold and silver, and over all the precious things of Egypt, and of Libyans, and of Ethiopians, and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore, he shall go with great few. This is the part of the prophecy that the United States is in right now. But the tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore, he shall go forth with great fury to destroy, and utterly to make away with many. And he shall plant the tabernacle of palace between the seas in his glorious mountain. Yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. He will try and plant. The United States will try and plant itself back as his own world power. But surprise, surprise, you know, there's going to be civil wars on all fronts in that nation. There's going to be wars on all fronts because it is a city of violence. It is a nation of violence. There's going to be wars on all fronts: civil war, systematic war, war. It will be waging war on world wars. It will actively engage itself in world war. Like, America is not going to, they believe that they are not going to lose out. They are not going to lose out on that violence because Yahuwah is going to make them drunk with it. He's going to make them drunk with it. So when she now believed that everything is fine and dandy, and he now wants to settle because now the oppression is too much and he wants to rest, then our end will come. Yahweh, help me. Our end is going to come. Now let's read this last Revelation 18. Yes, yeah. This is going to be the extension of what I'm going to say now, of what I've said previously. All right. Therefore shall a plague come in one day, death and mourning and famine. She shall be utterly burnt with fire, for strong is the Lord who is strong is the Lord Yahuwah who judges her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and live deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her, when they shall see the smoke of her burning. You see, let me go back to verse 8. Therefore a plague shall come in one day, death and mourning and famine. So it's going to be death, weeping, and famine that is going to happen in one. All of a sudden, boom, something, it's not like it's going to be spontaneous, instant. It's going to be spontaneous and instant. There's going to be famine. That's another thing. Famine means scarcity of resources, most especially food. Going to be famine upon the land. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication, that means the king of the earth who have profited from her, who have made abundance, luxuries. People who think that, they are going to have generational wealth and their base is going to be in the United States. They are going to weep and cry. And this is why the book of James tells us that all rich men weep and bewail. I think let me go back. My battery is low. That's James. I think that's James 5, I guess. Oh, sorry. James 5. I think 5. Yeah. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl, for your misery shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. It goes down to verse 4. It just keeps going down to verse 6. And this wealth gotten through devious, nefarious through devious, nefarious acts will not prosper. And Yahweh has stated that several times. This is why we are seeing, this is why many of these people now that they are robbing their workers and they are laying off their stars en mass. They sooner than later they will come to the realization that all the wealth, everything they've amassed, everything that they have built would have been reduced to nothing. Because as the word of Yahweh says, there is no peace for the wicked. All right. I think verse 18. Okay. Yeah. So verse 18. So it's going to say, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning. That's so when saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their head and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, the great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by the reason of our costliness, by the reasons of our expenses. That's what it's basically saying. For in 1 hour she is made desolate. In 1 hour she is made empty. In 1 hour she is robbed of her riches. She is robbed of her wealth. She is robbed of her abundance. In 1 hour she is robbed of everything that she has, because the enemies are going to plunder her. She's going to be the smallest amongst the nations, according to the word of Obadiah. Yeah. Thank you, Yahweh. Oh, thank you, Yahweh, for your wisdom and your mercies endure forever. She is going to be robbed for everything that she has, and not one coin is going to remain in her. And let's see what's going to happen after that. And a mighty angel, verse 21, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall the great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And the voice of the harpers and the musicians and the pipers and the trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. And the light of the candle, and in her was found the blood of prophets and of the saints and all the slain upon the earth. Basically saying that the prophets, the saints, as well as those who were killed upon that violent wicked land. So my battery is low and I have to go and charge it, and I have to compile this video because this video is going to be extensive. So, and I pray that as you have listened to this message, may Yahuwah bless you, may Yahuwah protect you, may his favor continue to shine upon all who have heard this message. And as you've heard this message, please ponder about it, think about it, go to Yahuwah in prayer. Go to Yahuwah in prayer. I can't stress this enough. This is very important, because you have to know from the type of message that you are hearing. No, I might not be a perfect person. I'm not a perfect person, but Yahuwah is like constantly refining me and constantly teaching me his word. Sometimes through sometimes through videos, sometimes through his sometimes through videos, sometimes through his word. So and he has led me to people who are true messengers, people who are leading me to the truth. And you have to go back to Yahuwah in prayer as you have listened to this message. May Yahuwah bless you, and shalom. Well, that was unexpected.